Welcome to Southwest Florida Happenings, the show that gives a voice to the Southwest Florida community. I'm your host, Mary Ann Suppressi, with What's Up Southwest Florida. And joining me today is Tom Giffen with Roy Hobbs World Series of Baseball. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
You know, there's one of the greatest things about what I do is you find all these little hidden gems that happen around town. And until recently, I had not even been aware that this event even happens here. So, Tom, you want to tell everybody just what Roy Hobbs Baseball is?
Well, Roy Hobbs Baseball is adult baseball. It's adult amateur recreation baseball. It is highly competitive because it is full rules baseball, and we have teams from all over the country, along with some teams from overseas. We'll have a team from Russia this year, a team from the Ukraine, the Dominican, Canada, Puerto Rico. We'll have players from Venezuela, potentially Bulgaria, and oh my goodness, a lot of the islands, and it's age group just like Little League is age group. Our youngest age group is 35 and over. They're allowed a few underage players, but they have some restrictions on what they can do. The age groups go 35 and over, 45 and over, 53 and over, 60 and over, 65 and over, 70 and over, and we have a 75 and over age group where we'll have 8 teams of 75-year-old guys playing. And this year, the women will be back playing at least a weekend series. They haven't been here in 5 years, but we'll have 6 to 8 women's teams competing the last weekend of the event. And that's kind of like all age groups.
Right. Wow, that's a lot of baseball. And this happens all throughout Lee County, these teams?
Well, we use all the facilities in Lee County. I have a contract with the county. It's run through Parks and Rec. And we'll play at JetBlue. We'll play at the Lee County Sports Complex, which I think is called CenturyLink. We'll play at the Player Development Complex on Edison Avenue. That's where our headquarters is. We leased that building from the county, and that's now where our world headquarters is. We share that with another outfit called Perfect Game, which is kids, which is youth baseball. And we use City of Palm Stadium, and we use the Terry Park Complex. And then when we have overflow, which will be 1 week this year, we'll have some overflow, and we'll play at the Charlotte County Complex, and that week we could be playing 30 games at one time.
Wow.
The real issue there is making sure you got enough umpires. Teams aren't a problem. Umpires sometimes are.
So why did you bring this to Fort Myers?
Well, it's a long story, but let's keep it short. The facilities are here. The community is very welcoming. The governmental entities here, particularly Parks and Rec and what is now the Sports Development Authority, they've made it a great place to come. They are great hosts. They help us be good hosts to the people that we bring here, and the players love it here. I would say we'll have 4,500 participating athletes this year, and probably another 500 support staff, umpires, people that we hire, and that sort of thing. Working with the event, and then families. You got to figure somewhere between 5 and 10,000 more people. So we could be up to 15,000 people that are involved in this. But the Lee County community has opened its arms to us. We've been here since 1993, and we came here because it was cold in Orlando, and people don't like playing baseball when they're bundled up like the Michelin tire boy.
Right. That's for football, not baseball.
That's right. And we were also looking for a site that where the fields were closer together and more easily accessible, because right here, I mean, during October and November, the fields are 15 minutes apart. If you have to play one game at one site and another game at another site, you do not have a long drive. You probably will take you longer to walk from the fields to your car than it will for you to drive to the next site.
So if somebody's interested in attending, they want to watch some of these games, where do they find the information? Is there a cost involved? Anything like that?
Well, we have a website, which is www.royhobbs.com, and the schedules will be, there's a World Series tab, and the schedules will be up there probably about 2 weeks before we start. And opening day is October 21st, and
Okay.
and the way the tournament runs is the age divisions flow upward. So the first week is the 35 and overs, and the second week's 45, and the third week is 53s, and the fourth week is 60s. Now with the 53s, we put 65s and 75s, and with the 60s, we put 70s. And the reason for that is because we have, in the older age groups, these guys have discretionary time and discretionary income, and they can play 2 weeks, maybe even 3, and play 45s. But they can play a lot more, and so we've tried to set it up where they can play 2 weeks in a row. And so on that website, we'll have the schedule. We're at all these facilities. We charge $1 admission. If you want to come for the entire tournament, it's a $5 pass. And we'll play 875 games this year.
Wow.
And you potentially, for $5, could see 100 of those games.
And some of these
And,
players were professional or semi-professionals at one time?
well, I'm going to say out of 4,500 players, there's probably 200 of them who signed a professional contract and played at least some minor league ball. There's a number of them who live here in town who mustered out here. They were in the Red Sox and Twins organizations, and they liked Fort Myers, and there's a lot to like here. So they decided to settle down here and go to work and join the rest of us in not playing games for a living. But there's probably 20 ex-major leaguers. And I have one this year, a gentleman by the name of Rich Gale, who I think played for the Red Sox a little bit, but he also played in the 1986 World Series with Kansas City. He has played in this event, but he hadn't played in the event in a number of years. He's returning this year as an umpire.
Oh, nice.
And he lives in South Carolina, and about 5 years ago, he was working one of the fantasy camps, and he and I got to talking about umpiring. And he said, "Do you think I could do this?" And I said, "Yeah, why not? You know the game." One of the neat things about good amateur umpires is they played at one time.
Right.
And players make really good umpires because they understand the game, and they have an idea. They can anticipate because they understand what could happen, and they also have suffered through bad umpiring, so they know the things not to do.
Right.
Okay. Well, anyway, Rich is coming this year for the first time, and he's going to umpire for 2 weeks, and I'm looking forward to working with him.
Oh, good.
We have a number of ex-major leaguers who play, but they're all in their 50s and their 60s, and yes, they're better than the other folks because they're fundamentally and their mechanics are better.
Right.
But they're just as slow of foot. They can't run as fast. They can't throw as hard, and Father Time has taken their toll on them, just like it has on the rest of us. But it's, these are guys. All these people who come here to play, baseball is a passion. And this is a week. They're going to come and spend a week, and they're going to play at least 6 games and maybe as many as 10 over 7 days. This is a week where they escape the rest of the world, and they can come. It's boys' vacation where you can be a kid again, and you can go and you can play ball. I mean, we do the same thing in February, and it's even more condensed because it's like a 3 or 4 day event, but it's all at the player development complex, and we mandatory locker room where they have a locker room. They come to the locker room at 7 o'clock in the morning. They have breakfast. They have trainers. They have hot tubs. They go out and they play a game. We feed them lunch. They go out and play a game. After the game, they can sit around and they can have a beer. They can have the trainers work on them. They can get a massage. They get treated just like major league ball players in a major league clubhouse. And so they're just going to spend 12 hours a day immersed in baseball, and they're with their friends. They're with their colleagues. We talk about baseball and teammates, and you've heard the expression, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, what happens in the dugout stays in the dugout. and it's a special club.
Right.
It is a very special club, and as a matter of fact, Rich Gale and another ex-major league pitcher squared off in a game in 1994 here in a championship game out at Lee County Stadium, and one guy beat the other 2-1. I don't remember who won the game, and it was a great game, but both pitchers were in their 40s at that point, and they were still could bring it pretty good. And I asked both of them separately, you both have played in the World Series, the big World Series, the thing that all of us dream about. What are you doing here? And their answer, both, I mean, they said different things, but what they both said was, it's the dugout, it's the camaraderie, it's the friendships, it's the teammates, it's a drug, and we can't let go of that. It is so much fun. It is so relaxing to be with people who have the same passion that you do, and you're focused on one thing, and that's working together to try to win a ball game.
Well, what a great thing you're doing, not only for the Fort Myers community, but for these guys. You know, you're bringing them here, and they get the camaraderie. So it's kind of like a win-win for everybody. It's a wonderful thing.
Well, it is, and it's a win-win. It's a win-win for Fort Myers, and depending on how you crunch the numbers, we're responsible for between 8 and 15 million a year influx into the economy of Lee County, and this is in off-season.
And people don't even know it happens.
So it is here, and it is out there, and there's plenty of seats. It's $1. It's the last of the cheap dates for some entertainment. And these guys are out there working hard and playing hard and having a good time and enjoying themselves. And yeah, you'll see some rhubarbs every now and then, but for the most part, when the games are over, they're going to go to one of the local sports bars and drink a beer together.
Yeah.
I actually have teams that will call me and say, we want to play this team because we play them every year. Please put us in their pool and give us a night game so we can go out and have a beer with them afterward. And this is, I mean, that's what being a teammate's all about. You can be in the opposite dugout, but you're still in the same arena, and you're expressing your passion, your love for something. And it's really it's an experience that if you have a passion for something, and you find other people with the same passion, and you can share that. I mean, I like wine, and I like to spend time with other people who like wine. I like to share good wine with people who appreciate it. Well, I like to share my baseball with people who love baseball. And we have so much fun doing this. I mean, for 4 weeks, we work 7 days a week, and we work about 18 hours a day, and at the end, we just want to go hide underneath the bed for 3 days. But at the same time, it is really, really rewarding to see people smile, laugh, greet each other. It's almost like a family reunion at times of the people that come back, because they're seeing people they haven't seen in a year, and they're telling stories and sharing stuff. We work with the local Challenger League, and that's the handicapped kids who play baseball, and we sponsor some of the stuff that they do, and we bring them out to one of the games one night, and we have them play a game on the field, and we have the players go be with them. I've done this in other towns with the minor league teams, and the really rewarding part there is for these minor league guys who are chasing a dream to be able to spend some time with kids whose only dream is to can I have fun and smile.
Right.
And it gives them a sense of reality of who they are and the gifts they have, and how important it is for them to utilize those gifts and work as hard as they can. But it's no different for the rest of us. We all have our gifts, and some of us can play, and we love it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and telling us all about this wonderful event. I actually look forward to coming out and seeing some of the games this time.
Well, we hope to see you, and it's quite a celebration of baseball and a festival over 4 weeks.
Right. So thank you so much.
Okay.
And that ends this episode of Southwest Florida Happenings, the show that gives a voice to the Southwest Florida community.